Oh my god, I'm so hot. I'm just smoking.
I mean,
Literally.
I mean, it can be perceived in a lot of different ways.
Just being me right now is like being in the center of a sauna. I'm talking about the fact that my air conditioning doesn't work and it's 100 degrees outside. Hello. Welcome to the ToonamiGAF podcast. This is episode 17. With me today are B-Dubs
Hello.
and Jarate. Jarate.
What's Jarate? What's
Jar-
going on?
Who can tell?
what?
It's Jarate. You can call me that.
Jarate.
Yeah, you know.
Jar. 8.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
the past tense of Jarate.
You can put words together like that, I guess.
It's how the English language was formed, if you really think about it.
Holy shit, you guys, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah,
Woo!
it's here.
Yeah, woo!
It's a real thing that's going to happen.
I'm hyped for it. I'm really, really hyped for it.
I'm
I,
so fucking hyped.
I'm also hyped to hear the new dub.
I'm not so hyped about that particular
Wait,
detail.
they're doing a
but
new dub?
I'd
No.
imagine they are.
No, there's no way. They only just recently got the rights, to release it, so it's unquestioned. It's definitely going to be the Warner dub, I think,
We'll
unless they're
see.
rushing this one out.
You know,
No, I thought it was
Funimation.
the Warner dub.
I think it is the Warner dub.
We'll see. I will say that the Warner dub is pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the British accents, and it's a little too hammy for my taste. But like, at least we don't have to deal with those DVD menus anymore.
I
Okay.
don't think there's a way. I mean, Hammy and JoJo. I mean, let's look at the title. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is maybe the hammiest title that has been on Toonami.
It's the hammiest title of ever.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the hammiest show that will ever air on Toonami.
Oh, I'm really interested to see how people react to it. If they'll react like I'm always afraid of like the people that go to those cons and ask if Bleach is going to be canceled or not or uncanceled.
Well, the thing
Like,
about those people is that they don't watch Toonami. They just wandered into a convention, into a panel.
I, I mean, have you seen DeMarco's like ask questions that some people do?
Yes.
There's some.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years that the average anime fan that watches like dubbed anime is like kind of scummy.
Just a little?
Not to say that they're great viewers, all 20 of them listening in are those people, but like, especially dubbed anime fans, they're usually the ones that are like the Kingdom Hearts fanboys and girls that are like.
Okay, it's less more 20 and more like Zonic listening to it 20 times.
I mean, I might make my mom listen to it once or twice.
Oh, God.
Please don't.
No.
Please do not.
No, I would never do that to my mom.
You, well, you don't like her enough?
No, I love my mom. She's a fucking saint.
Oh, so you wouldn't subject your mom to us, huh? Is that
No,
what
I
you
wouldn't
think of us?
subject my mom to anime.
Is that what you think of us?
She doesn't deserve anime. She doesn't deserve that world. The only anime I'd feel comfortable like showing her is probably One Piece.
I thought you were going to say Cowboy Bebop.
I think Cowboy Bebop would be like too deep for her kind of thing. Like I don't think she'd like. I don't. Bebop's very kind of Tarantino-ish, and I don't think she's like.
Yeah.
I'm sure she likes Tarantino, but I don't think that's like her jam. You know.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't like One Piece other than people with garbage taste?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Wait, but that would account for like 90% of anime fans in the U.S.
well.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
okay.
say that like that's a surprising statistic.
This is true. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
why-
getting
Oh yeah, go ahead.
part 1 and 2, which are combined into the first
Yeah, thank
season.
goodness. Thank goodness we're getting both of those before part 3, just
Yeah.
so we can get introduced to Dio as a character.
Right. And I mean, honestly, the last time we started off in the middle of a series, it didn't go very well.
Well,
You know?
I think the difference between JoJo is that, I mean,
Right. It doesn't have that long history of
Technically.
callbacks.
And also the Davy back fight is one of the worst
That too.
canon arcs in one. Not to say that it's bad, it's just
Honestly, it probably is the worst, like, actual canon arc in One Piece.
until I don't
No,
spoiler tag time.
No.
No.
Fishman Island.
no. I refuse to acknowledge that. That is not worse than Davy Back. You are
Beat-ups.
wrong. You are horrible.
Beat-ups. What else would it? What else would it be?
It's not amazing. It's not the best arc, but it is not worse than Davy Back. Just full stop.
It's not worse than. It's not worse than. It's so long though. I was talking through it, and then I realized, well, at least Davy Back fight, at least in the manga, is pretty short. But
then you got the non-canon Davy back fight stuff.
Oh God.
We all love our non-canon. Shout out to Man God.
Man God.
So yes, Dio.
Yes.
Yeah, Dio.
It is I.
Motherfucking.
You thought it was Grenexo, but it was I, Dio.
I think you switched the places of the X and the N in the name there.
Oh. Well, I'm not looking at your name on the freaking whatever.
You've seen it. You probably see it like several times.
I do.
At least.
Grexeno. There we go. Okay.
Everybody just looks at avatars, to be honest.
Yeah, that's how I identify who is who.
Well, that easily gets you in trouble, doesn't it?
It does, because I keep confusing two mods who basically have the same avatar.
Oh, is it?
Only reverse.
I mean, that's just their joke.
I know, that's the joke, because they're both in ToonamiGAF, but it took a little while to get used to it.
So no, we get to see Dio Brando in the first episode where he goes from, hey, I'm Dio Brando, to, I'm kicking dogs, in like 0.5 seconds.
He doesn't just kick dogs.
He kicks them flashily.
No,
yes, he does.
That's not all he does to dogs. He's
I know.
A horrible person to dogs.
Oh, Dio is one of the worst people that is probably going to be. Dio is like the perfect One Piece villain.
He really is. He's
Dio
like,
is too good for One Piece.
He really
no. In fairness, he'd probably get his ass kicked, but you know.
Dio makes the One Piece villains look complex and nuanced.
Depends what One Piece, or depends what
it
Dio
depends
is
on the One Piece
which
villain.
is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No,
I'd probably say I'd probably say Doflamingo is probably the closest to Dio.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
He's got a fairly interesting backstory, but that's spoilers.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. Yes,
We're getting
motherfucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I can't wait for
Speedwagon. Muda.
Well,
I hope
ironically, only one of those really is in. And one of those just is like, wait for part 3. I mean, the irony is that the first season is like completely different from the other 8 seasons or 6 seasons.
It's Kenshiro goes and fights Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Which is awesome.
It is the greatest thing on earth. We finally got Fist of the North Star, boys.
We really did.
With it being
and
one
Speedwagon. He's awesome.
Speedwagon!
Speedwagon is going to be the broest of bro characters.
He is just one of the broest characters in anime. I mean, outside of Speedwagon, it's what? It's
Kuwabara?
Okay, Kuwabara's number 1. Then Speedwagon.
So because
Zoro?
of the timing of...
Kamina?
Oh, okay,
Yes.
Kamina,
Is
Kuwabara,
number 1.
Speedwagon.
That's like the Mount Rushmore of bros.
The Mount Rushmore Bros is Kamina, Kuwabara, Speedwagon. And we're just going to sit here making a Mount Rushmore of Bros now, aren't we?
Okay, I would say the Mount Rushmore of bros is probably Kamina, Kuwabara, and then for the JoJo bro, I would honestly have to go with Bruno from Part 5.
Speedwagon.
Mm.
Because Speedwagon has no reason to be a bro.
He just is.
He just is.
It's his entire role in this series. And
I've read through Part 1. He has no reason to be a bro, and yet he is.
God, I
he's the
can't
greatest
wait. I
type of
can't.
bro where he's completely useless, except when
But
he's
he's-
perfectly needed. And then he's the most
Except when-
competent character to ever exist.
Okay, we're gonna
Speedwagon
probably get into
exists to be a
spoilers.
bro.
And just
We're-
just as a warning to people who are watching JoJo for the first time, one of the people that are probably in the thread.
I've actually never watched it. I read through the first couple of parts, but then they started making the anime, and I was like,
Which parts have you read?
I've gone up to the end of part 3.
Okay.
Part 2, I would say, is better animated than it is in the manga. I think Part 1, the
That
manga
wouldn't
is
surprise
better than
me.
the anime, but like Part 2
Yeah.
is just like perfectly done with that character. It's
All
just
right.
Well, okay, so the first season, parts 1 and 2, the animation of the show is basically motion comic.
That's okay though.
It lacks it very lacking in actual animation, but what it doesn't lack is fucking style.
And it's got the best ED ever.
yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I mean,
Prog rock classic.
Yes.
I was like, okay, the best ending theme category for this year's awards is locked down.
There's nothing else. Well, I mean, it's not like
Well,
anything
then-
else.
I mean,
has a good
Iron-Blooded
ending theme.
Orphans. Iron-Blooded Orphans,
Well,
though?
it's like, well, Roundabout easily takes it,
Yeah.
and then Samurai Champloo ending and Iron-Blooded Orphans first ending get very honorable mentions, but
Yes, but it's roundabout.
and then best opening becomes a titanic battle between One Punch Man OP and Sonochi no Sadame.
Oh. And Samurai Champloo opening.
Well, that's just kind of like a third wheel there.
Yeah.
That's one of my... Oh. Why is Toonami so good right now?
Because
Why is it so good?
Remember when we had to go through Parasite and Akami got killed? Do you remember that pain we had to experience?
Do you remember Samurai 7? I remember Samurai 7. That guy sold his wife.
Do you remember when Samurai 7 was the second show on at night?
I do.
And then immediately just kept getting shoved farther and farther down.
It really did.
See, I saw that show
Remember when
beforehand.
Tenchi Mirio GXP
God.
was the second show on the night?
I had blocked that from my mind.
And then it went from like there to not on the block. Like just get down, no.
Isn't that the only show
Relief.
DeMarco's like, yeah, we made a mistake. We're never
The
gonna
only
do that
one
again."
from New Toonami, yeah.
Yeah,
Because even I think he like dislikes Sword Art Online and Naruto because like
But because they get good, well, I don't know about Naruto because he's so defensive about the filler in that.
I think it's
Well,
just
I
because he
mean,
makes a
But
lot of
also,
money from it.
come on.
well, I mean, it's also because it would take so much effort to cut the filler out that it's just not worth it. You know, I mean,
And it's also like TV deals and shit like that.
and I mean, it's got its roots in like the filler's got its roots in the canon stuff, and like separating it would just be a giant mess that I'm sure he doesn't want to deal with. You know,
But
so
no,
I-
he's got to know about Sword Art Online. He has to.
No, I don't think he actually likes it. I think he likes the money it gives him, but
But yeah, but he's never going to publicly say it sucks because it gets the ratings and that's all that matters.
yeah.
Kirito's dick not only wins everything, but it also gets him a lot of money.
It does. So,
Kirito's virtual reality dick is just too strong for any universe.
So, you know, with the show, considering it's going to replace One Punch Man, it most likely is going to be evenly split between the years of all
Yeah.
of Part 1's going to air this year, and then it's going to start Part 2 next year.
Yep.
Did they say anything about continuing it to Part 3 or
They
anything?
said they will base it on ratings. If they
right.
Oh,
it
there's
will
no
be
way it's
possible for them. It will be possible for them to immediately go into Part 3
not. Mhm.
But they can also
because
take
Part
a
3
break.
dub is being done right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But they said they gave like the Gundam answer of depends on the ratings.
Right. And it also depends on, you know, do they think there's going to be something that's going to give them crazier ratings that's shorter, like One Punch Man Season 2? Or, you know, by then they might be able to
There is
do...
not going to be a One Punch Man season 2.
I know.
Attack on
Not
Titan
for a
Season
long time.
2?
Yeah,
It's the only thing I
Attack on-
can imagine, but like I think people
Yeah.
are done with
Attack on Titan season 2 is spring.
Yeah.
I feel like Attack on Titan just has like a really dedicated fan base right now, but I think most people have like watched it and are like, oh.
I still think it's
Oh.
definitely I still think it's definitely a lock.
Yeah,
Attack
oh,
on Titan's-
totally.
Yeah,
But I don't
no.
think it's going to be. I think maybe
No,
it
Attack
won't
on
be
Titan...
like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought maybe, hey, they might do try to get a simuldub up there, but maybe they don't know if it's worth
I
it.
don't know. Well, I mean, the thing with Attack on Titan is it works on the first airing, and after that, it just doesn't work because there's not enough nuance in how
Every
it's
time
written.
you see it, it gets worse.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I can't believe I thought. Because I remember reading it originally. I'm like, oh, wow, this is really fresh. This is awesome. And, like, I
Attack
go
on
back.
Titan really grips you the first time you see it.
Yeah.
I
But
think I
then
got like 6 episodes in before I was like, wait, this isn't Spider-Man with swords fighting giant
Yeah.
things?
No, it's a
Why?
zombie survival movie. No,
Where
but
someone can turn into a
Turn
zombie.
into a zombie, yeah.
yeah. No, I
Where
mean,
everyone can turn into a zombie.
that's spoilers. Yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like it works the first way through. Like if you're reading it, if you're watching it, all bets are off.
It's also
Well,
really, really, really well produced for the anime in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after they
Actually, I
touch it
remember
up.
the anime was a complete rush job.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they screwed the pooch hugely on the original airing. They had to-
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some really funny scenes where there's like the Titans like stepping down and there's like a bunch of green shading all over the
Oh,
place.
it's hilarious.
Anyway, next year, now that if we assume that they will indeed air JoJo Part 3 immediately after Part 2 and Part 1, then that literally just leaves us one slot next year.
So what's the big show then? My Hero Academy is like the only thing that we
Next year I would imagine it would be, Samurai Jack, then
Yeah.
Gundam and Attack on Titan in some order.
So is My Hero
Yeah,
Academy just never gonna come?
I don't.
Be disappointed.
I think it's too crowded at this point.
I don't think they. I think Toonami has become a block that shows only the biggest, most well-liked titles, and they don't really have any room for other stuff until like 2018.
Yeah, so they just gotta
When they don't have,
ping pong all day.
like when
They
they
don't
don't have, when they
JoJo
don't,
and Hunter x Hunter.
like they've got to get through. I mean, they've got JoJo now, and I mean, knock on wood, I think it will get good enough ratings to be continually aired, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably. It'd be great if we went just straight through JoJo all the way to Part 4. Because Part 4 is literally, for me, like, the shut it down, you don't need to be on the air, show. Where it's like, you can't get better than this, so fuck it.
I've been watching Part 4 slowly. I usually like to bundle them all together so I can watch it all together. I usually watch my shonen like that, so I'm really excited to finish it when it finishes, and also just to eventually hear the dub, because like what I've watched so far, because I watched like the first like 6 or 7 episodes, because I couldn't help myself, and man, that part is just so fun, and so energetic, and just is like perfect for the JoJo universe. It takes Hammy, it takes like the weird powers, and it's just like, oh. But then I heard
So I'm
Part
gonna
5 is
make
terrible.
Part 5 is not terrible. Part 5 is better than Part 3. But the thing is that it is it is super duper Part 3.
Japanese people might actually. I think Japanese people really like Part 5 too.
It's very popular in Japan and Italy, of course, because it takes place in Italy.
Yeah.
But it does. I mean, there are some not great. There are some definitely parts about Part. Anyway, whatever. Going back, bold prediction that if they air Part 4, it will be the best thing they have ever aired.
What about
That's not named Cowboy Bebop.
One Punch Man? Man,
But better. One Punch Man's only 12 episodes.
I know, but One Punch Man is so good.
It's so good, but what
That animation,
Diamond is Unbreakable is that level of quality for 39 episodes, basically.
Yeah, you're right.
And what's even better about Diamond is Unbreakable is that they took a part that's longer than Part 3 in the manga and made the anime shorter than the Part 3 anime. And it still looks fantastic. It's fucking perfect.
They know what they're doing. They got it under control.
God, I can't wait to talk about JoJo in October. God,
Can't
I
wait
can't
to hear that ED cut for Roundabout.
Oh no, they got to show
that
the whole
OP
thing.
cut.
So here are my fears regarding JoJo. 1, they won't show Roundabout at all. They can't get the rights to show it on TV.
That would be the worst thing ever.
I don't think Yes is a big enough band to force that.
Yeah, Yes is a big
They
enough
are
band
now
to do that. Well, I mean, they've always been a pretty big band. They've been one of the bigger prog rock bands.
Even if they're not that big, even if they weren't that big, they're still big enough to not make it financially viable for a small channel like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
My second fear is that we're going to talk about this later with Hunter x Hunter, but apparently Viz likes to secretly give you broadcast versions.
Ugh.
And so if I see blacked out gore, I'm going to lose my mind.
The most gory scene of all, a child smoking a cigarette.
Dare they?
If they do that, I will be immediately on Twitter like, no.
You bastards.
This is unacceptable. You can literally show me completely uncut violence in Hellsing Ultimate, and yet JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has to have these completely ridiculous black blobs everywhere. No.
I think that a teenager, a 17-year-old smoking a cigarette is far worse than Nazi vampires eating a baby. When you think about it, it makes total sense.
I don't agree. And my third more minor fear is that they won't show the sound effect openings. Like they'll just show the regular cut opening.
I'd be so upset if they cut or if they frickin' fade away that opening too. It was bad for One Punch Man, but we'll get into that.
The cut openings are really starting to become unforgivable. Not because every opening but one needs to be cut, but because they're only allowing the Dragon Ball Z Kai opening to remain uncut.
And that's not even the best one. That's like the worst one.
Because they did the first show on the block will always have an opening uncut, but then they thought they were going to have a rotating slot on the first show.
And that's not
now
happening.
It's not. It's like, fucking change your policy, dumbass.
And I've worked in audio and video fields for a very long time. That's why I have no money. But those are literally the laziest things I've ever witnessed in my entire life. As much shit as we give the shampoo cut, the cut that they do, that fade is literally as a person who's done all that type of stuff, I'm just screaming on the inside. And I know some people prefer it, to be honest, but just as a professional, I would not be happy as a professional if I hired the person who did that. I'd be like, what were you thinking? You could have done something. It would take you 2 hours to put together something more competent than that. Oh. But maybe it's some weird broadcasting thing, because anime is weird with all that type of stuff and their music.
It really is.
Sometimes you just have to, sometimes they shows have to either be aired the openings have to be aired either completely uncut or just not aired at all because the band was like, you are not allowed to cut our music. Fuck you.
Yeah, that happens.
Remember that one time Funimation couldn't air an entire opening of One Piece because...
Oh, yeah. Because the band was like, no. They don't even... Their stuff doesn't even sell in the U.S. What the hell are they complaining about?
It's probably just a lawyer that they have that are
Probably, yeah.
That you have to listen to more Crazy Rainbow Star.
A lawyer with delusions of grandeur.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Well, as my brother worked in a lot of, he's a musician or used to be a musician, so he's had experiences with all that stuff. And sometimes lawyers are just I think I can get an extra $5 out of this, so I'm gonna do it. And the thing that's it's not gonna hurt me by doing this, but you're gonna piss off some fans, but who's gonna go and buy Japanese music? Very, very few Americans are gonna do that,
Yeah.
Okay, well, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. More info coming soon, because it's still an entire show away.
Very short show, but a show nonetheless.
A short and excellent show, but oh man, going from fucking One Punch Man to...
That's a pretty good...
Remember when we had to deal with Parasite to a Kamiga Kill, or was it the opposite?
No, to a Kamiga Kill to Parasite.
Do you remember that? This is like...
The opposite.
This is the opposite feeling I feel in my heart. It's a great feeling.
Let's assume that One Punch Man is going to rerun when it ends. That will literally be the best lineup they've ever had.
What happens if Viz Media announces that they got Sentai to do the dub for JoJo?
that doesn't make any sense, and they did.
Please no.
I've heard some of the new part
Yeah,
3 dub stuff, and it's basically, they're doing it justice.
Well, are they using the same actors that they used when they did the test dub?
It's the test dub cast.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So
good.
you get Matthew Mercer Jotaro, which is like, who the fuck else was going to play him?
Other than Clint Eastwood, that's like the literal only the person I'd want to play that character.
And then you got Richard Epcar's, character.
Yeah.
And, Patrick Seats's Dio is really good. He can't hold a candle to Koyasu. I mean, he can't hold a candle to Koyasu.
I don't think any human being can.
Because that was literally, voicing Dio was literally the reason that man was born.
Yeah, it's just like Frankie. Like, nobody's going to do Frankie's voice. Just no one.
Right. Anyway, on to the block. Dragon Ball Z Kai episode 79. The battle turns for the worst. Cell attacks Android 18. Boy, everyone's a fucking idiot in this episode.
This is where Vince McMahon wants to make it so Cell becomes perfect. I feel like. Alright, can I just call out Krillin for being a useless... Like, I can understand Vegeta to an extent. Krillin is completely at fault here. Like, you can't blame Vegeta. Like, Goku was like, "Oh, Vegeta, what are you doing?"
That's what Vegeta
And it's like the same thing
Piccolo
Vegeta's always done, and always was going to do.
But, like, Krillin literally was like... Krillin is the thirstiest person on Earth. Just literally, like... there's a lot of blood on his hands. There is a ton of blood on his hands due to this...
Like, Krillin's his reasons literally go down to, number one, my dick.
I mean, I understand, like... I bet you it's Akira Toriyama being like, "Oh, the androids haven't done anything bad, like... All they've done is steal a car." But, like, yeah, exactly, write that, or, like, do it where, like, Krillin's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use this button. Oh, no, it doesn't work. What are we gonna do?" Like, Akira Toriyama, this is...
Then it's like, good job, Bulma, you idiot, for making a button.
This is the part of the manga where you can really tell that Toriyama just ran out of ideas. And, like, it's gonna get a lot worse in the Buu saga. Because, like, if you think people are incompetent in this saga, the Buu saga is, like, 500 times worse. And just, like... Because everybody's so broken at this stage that the only way that people, like, the enemies can succeed is if the heroes are incompetent. And, like, I give a lot of... I love DBZ. Like, I love DBZ. I have so much nostalgia for that show. But, like, this is honestly one of the worst episodes of DBZ. But honestly, you know what? We get Perfect Cell as opposed to Second Form Cell. And Perfect Cell's a really good villain, actually.
I can't wait to never see Semi-Perfect Cell and his stupid fucking face ever again.
Oh, you get to see him again.
Fuck me.
He gets to go boom, though. gets to explode.
Okay, sure.
I mean, who hasn't seen DBZ at this stage of the game?
Trunks really should have probably acted sooner.
Yeah.
And also, like, I understand. I think Vegeta was probably toying with Cell. But why didn't Trunks just go straight for the kill shot?
Because Trunks
is supposed
to be
a lot more powerful.
There is a reason. Should I spoil the reason?
Why?
No, it's alright.
Trunks didn't want to get in the way of Vegeta's pride, and so it turns out that Trunks is actually stronger than Vegeta at this stage, but he was pretending to be weaker so Vegeta would be, like, happy. Because, like, for some reason, Trunks thinks that, like, Vegeta is worth treating as happy. Like, he's at his happiest. Vegeta's at his happiest when he's at his most upset.
Everyone in this episode is a fucking idiot.
Like...
Fuck you, Trunks, too.
Yeah, everyone's really... Actually, if I remember right, Trunks only thinks he's stronger than Vegeta. Vegeta can actually do what Trunks does. He just doesn't for the reason that Trunks shouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's just Trunks. It's like he's like, "Oh, I'm stronger than my dad," but you're really not.
Come to think of it, at the point when everyone decided not to blow up Dr. Giro's lab 2 years ago,
they were idiots.
Everyone is just a fucking fuck all of them.
Yeah, you can really tell that Toriyama ran out of ideas here. I mean, you can kind of tell during, like, the Frieza saga, just with, like, how much it got paced along. But at least that was, like, a seminal moment in, like, anime history, you know? That was, like, the first time you got to experience, like, the 4,000-long episode battle.
That was, I mean, there was nothing like it had ever been done before, so.
Yeah. So, like, I could give him a pass, but, like, this is just, like, insufferable at this stage.
That's
Now
Dragon
we get
Ball Z.
Perfect Cell. Yeah?
Perfect Cell. He's much better. He doesn't have a stupid fucking face.
And he's got a great voice, too. Unless they
His song,
change
his introduction song is amazing.
It's also
P
true.
is for priceless. The look on your faces.
Is there anything else
Man.
about Kai that I wanted to bring up?
We're just a few episodes away from overtaking Team 4-Star. That's kind of crazy.
It really is. We're not going to know the jokes in advance.
Shit!
I have noticed a major drop-off in Team 4-Star jokes as the series has gone along. When the series first started out, it was all just Team 4-Star jokes.
because at that point they had been so complete. They had been, set in stone.
Yeah.
But the second half of the episode is literally just Cell powering up, so that's it. That's it for the episode.
There's a lot of yelling.
One Punch Man episode 2, The Lone Cyborg. So, I kind of forgotten that. I thought, the first episode and last episode of One Punch Man are the ones with the excellent animation. Oh wait, no. It's pretty much excellent the whole way through. Right?
Is there a reason why... Did they ever give a reason why the animation was, like, so much... Because, like, obviously this is the same studio that does, like, My Hero Academy, and My Hero Academy has really good animation, but it's nowhere close to
Bones does My Hero Academia, and it doesn't really have all that great animation. I mean, this is coming from a fan of the show. It's coming from a fan. Yeah. But no, Madhouse is the one who does.
I'm sorry, I mix up those companies.
So they do Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, that's right. Well, Hunter x Hunter has some really good animation in parts.
Right.
But not anywhere near as the quantity of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And really, I don't see how you can, as like a fan of animation, like I don't see how anybody who's like really into animation can be like, man, this doesn't get my blood boiling. This doesn't excite me. Because like, it's incredible.
So what do we think about Genesis' voice? I think it's really good. I think they really lean heavily into the cyborg thing.
Yeah, I think they lean a little too heavy into the cyborg thing.
I'll give him some time to kind of feel out the character a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Saitama's voice either.
I like him.
I like him, don't get me wrong, like this is me just complaining, like being a nitpicky person. I'm not like, I think it's like a little too monotone. Even though that's kind of what it's supposed to be, it's just kind of like, it's fine. It works perfectly well. It's just me being a nitpicky. But like, I'll give him some time to feel out the characters. You know, sometimes it takes a while. If you go back and listen to like Zoro's old voice in the original episodes of One Piece, and like Sanji has changed completely. Yeah, he went from a Boston accent. No, but like the early Funimation, like you'll hear like the character, like Zoro kind of sounds a little bit more Piccolo-ish as in the beginning episodes, but as you get later,
do you mean the beginning episodes, as in the episode?
The very first,
as in because they started dubbing in Skypiea.
Yeah, but the Funimation has the dub for like Captain Morgan battle. It kind of sounds a little weird, but like it's fine. I like the cast so far. It's not Sentai, so.
So we got several great one punches this episode. Like he just runs in out of nowhere and slaps the shit out of Mosquito Girl. One guy crashes through his roof and he's like, "I am."
Nope. Honestly, the funniest bit I think was the fact that he can't kill just a regular mosquito.
I mean, I think that's just a commentary on the human condition.
Probably, but I mean, he's got super speed and super strength, and he still can't handle that shit.
Well, mosquitoes, they suck.
They do.
You really do. It's pretty morbid, that beginning part of the episode. The guy getting just completely annihilated by all the mosquitoes.
Well, I mean, he kind of had it coming.
That was dark.
It's a little dark.
It's a little dark, but I mean, he was like, haha, I'm gonna go out and steal some stuff. What could go wrong? It's like, if you die due to your own idiocy, it's like, no matter how horrible it is, it's like, dude.
What I'm trying to imply is he deserves to be in a DBZ episode.
Oh, God. No one deserves that.
He deserves to be written by Akira Toriyama.
I forgot that the fight scenes in the second episode, I thought they happened in the third episode. Like with Beast King and Mecha. I completely forgot to make a Harambe joke about Mecha Gorilla.
Aww.
It's like,
Hurrah. Well,
they
you don't
shot
need to
me,
make a...
but then they turned me into a cyborg gorilla. Now my revenge will be complete. And then,
Why,
then he just
why?
completely drops the robot voice.
He was just doing it because it looked good.
Also, don't forget the mole guy.
Yeah, Mole Guy got
And then Saitama's just underground.
I love Saitama in this series so much. He's such a perfect, just the perfect, like, antithesis for every single, like, stupid superhero. And I kind of hate those superhero, like, very generic superheroes. So just seeing this, like, really brought on a lot of, like, haha, I get it, you know?
Yeah.
It's great, is what I'm trying to imply. There's
So
only
I
so many
was-
ways I can say
I was
it's
listening
amazing.
to the Toonami Show Rundown's most recent episode, and they brought up that long, unnecessarily overly long backstories or a cut running gag. Like, the crab guy was, like, talking about the crab guy, and, the giant guy was like, I wanted to become the strongest man in the world, and then Vaccine Man was, like, giving a spiel about his origins, and then
Goodbye.
eventually, last episode, we got to Car Guy, and he's just like, I like messing with cars. And then this episode, we get to the ultimate conclusion of that, where it just, like, goes on and on and on and on, and just gets faster and faster.
Oh, God.
And Saitama's like, can you fit that inside a tweet, please?
30 words or less.
It was another great episode of One Punch Man. That
Is
by
there
the way,
a bad episode?
I don't know.
The answer is, of course, no. Because One Punch Man is great.
Oh yeah, the ratings were fucking amazing this week. So
Oh, yeah.
Second week of One Punch Man just dominating.
yeah, it didn't do as big in total viewers, but it did better in the demo, I
Yeah.
think.
Maybe people are finally getting sick of DBZ Kai. Maybe they're going to have to replace it with Family Guy again.
Oh no.
Family Guy got a 0.8, I think, in the demographics.
Fucking what the fuck?
Fucking Family Guy, what do you
Fuck
want?
you, Family Guy, and fuck you, fuck you, stoners. Fuck you. Watch something good.
People are dedicated to the Family Guy train, man. I don't know what it is. Like,
Who knows?
it's got the best animation of any series I've ever seen.
Really? What the hell is that?
I think he deflated a little bit.
Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Episode 7, Wailing. In this episode, they go kill Laboon. You really don't expect cross-series synergy like that, especially in a way that's so dark.
And
But-
yet there it is.
Yeah, while the Straw Hats are like, we're gonna get Brook back to Laboon. These space people are just shot at. Hey, there's a giant whale, let's shoot it.
I mean, it happens.
No, the episode title does not seem to have any bearing on the actual content.
It's not a Toei title.
No.
It's the
So-
opposite of a Toei title.
This Turbines group, and it is turbines, it's not turbine. It's like turbine on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, there's a
It's
guy named
literally-
Biscuit, too.
It's,
Yeah. Biscuit
It's literally-
seems like Honestly, Biscuit seems like he's gonna be kind of really in on the interpersonal sort of conflict going on later in the series. If only because he seems to be the only one questioning the fact that, what's his name, fucking kid. I can't remember anyone's name but Biscuit.
Black-haired kid?
Yeah, that guy.
Mikazuki.
Like,
Mikazuki.
yeah, Mikazuki. He's not in charge, and yet he's the one making the decisions. You know?
Because Orga doesn't want to get shanked in the back.
Well, yeah, but it seems like Biscuits is the only one that recognizes this, and I'm like, this is going to lead somewhere at some point. I hope.
So this guy who leads the turbines, right?
Yeah.
He's literally, I mean, just straight up, he has a fucking harem. That's straight up what this is.
He
He's
does.
also got a cool hat and a cool
He
suit.
has a very cool hat.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we've been introduced to the second faction, which is literally a guy and his harem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Gundam. You gotta have some guy with a harem.
But I mean, this is just, like, very played the straightest of straight.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm not joking. He's literally having sex with all of those women at the same time.
That does not shock me.
It's big space out there.
Yeah, people get lonely, bro.
So what was with that one scene with those two characters whose names I don't know, but apparently they have one like really attracted to the other, and the other guy doesn't notice? Like, what?
Yaoi fan date.
Like, I don't even know if they have names that have been
DTL
said on
audience,
screen
man.
in the show.
I think it's just that in Japan they like to do the yaoi bait because that stuff sells really well with the women, and
Yes,
I
it
think
does.
this series was really advertised heavily towards women.
It
By the
also
I mean,
sells
what
really
makes you
well with
think
the
that?
DTL.
What makes you say that?
The man service,
Oh no,
Yeah.
I knew that, but
and you also got to get the Japanese women like that kind of yaoi bait really, really a lot. Like that's why they like. I'd imagine they'd like free a lot. And I feel like that was just a really poorly implemented version of that. I kind of like it just because of how rare it is to see like a
it's like
gay
you can't be that
relationship in
obvious
general.
with it.
But like it was just like, hey, look at these guys. Like look at this guy like lust after this other guy. Like
That
it
is
just came out of
DTL's
nowhere.
favorite show.
And not just lust after him, just lust silently in the corner,
Seriously.
slowly
You gotta
floating
get the
away
DTL audience though, man.
in
Yeah.
zero gravity.
It's a big enough audience.
This episode had a really good transition to the ED too.
Don't remember it.
It was when they stopped fighting. And then
Okay.
I just really like that ED in general. I think it's really different from what we get on Toonami. It's just that kind of Japanese vocal music that I kind of like.
Yeah.
And we don't really get a lot of songs like that or anything. And I also liked how this episode, this series is very, as much as people go, oh, it's Gundam, to kind of excuse kind of some of the silly, more Gundam-y parts of it. It's very un-Gundam in a lot of ways, where it's not really like a space opera, and it's not really like two giant armies with a Mary Sue soldier going against another Mary Sue soldier. I mean, Mikazaki's kind of a Mary Sue, a little bit. But like, you know, he shot people. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he did. I mean, his main problem, though, is that he can't read from the looks of it, you know, and, like,
I mean,
Kamina couldn't read.
you can't read when you have a gun. I told
Yeah.
that teaching lady the only letters I need to know is U, S, and A.
USA. Only word I know how to spell is America.
Because is the hair just like a standard Gundam thing where they all just
Yeah,
have
no.
I feel like
everyone has,
that's what they're
the
fighting
stupidest
for.
hair.
I feel
Their
like Mars
hair.
Independence is purely to get hair gel. For
No,
that
it's
Orca
no.
and that lady character that I can't remember her name.
No. It's about unfair tariffs on hair gel from America. This whole thing just feels a little bit like a not so subtle, like, play on the American Revolution. Like later we're going to find out, oh, there's the whole reason Mars is rebelling is because of tariffs on hair gel, which would be big in this universe.
It would be big.
Literally, Orga is the entire hair gel economy.
Like, how does his hair even sit like that? Holy shit!
And I mean, I get being an anime and being like cartoony. I get what they're trying to do, but like that series is so gritty and so like it's trying to be realistic for
hair.
a Gundam series, and then like that girl also has the most ridiculous hair on Earth. Like, if she cared that much about like Mars independence, don't you think that she like should send some of that hair gel money towards the people of Mars? Maybe that'll help them out.
Yeah, I know, but the hair gel's expensive because of the tariffs.
Oh, okay. And you got to look good too.
You really do. You deal with your own hair gel first, and then you pass it around. It's like those oxygen masks on the airplane. You know, you take care of yourself first, and then you help the guy next to you. Even though it's not really going to do anything for you.
Guys, have I mentioned I'm fucking hot?
You have. It's very. You didn't mention it's very hot where you
We're gonna make this. We're gonna talk about Hunter x Hunter recap for like 3 hours just so you can suffer.
No, fuck you. We're just straight up skipping Hunter x Hunter.
Aww.
What do you mean?
We gotta
didn't even watch it at all.
We got to talk about the frame. They had the letter to his sister.
Okay, yeah.
No,
and
it's his mom?
No,
his
it's
aunt.
his aunt. Whatever. It's his aunt. Okay, but yeah, it's like, auntie, and then people died, and then more people died, and then I made friends with an assassin, and then he killed a person. He showed him his heart. It was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
And she's got to be looking at it like horrified, like, what?
So, like, yeah, well, she probably knows. I mean, her brother was, fucking Hunter Supreme, so.
Yeah.
So, I'm not even going to bother with this episode other than the framing device used for this completely unnecessary and very too soon recap episode was hilarious and led to a lot of good jokes, but that's it.
When did he have time to write the letter? Or is that just anime letter?
I mean, I guess when he was sitting for 50 hours in a room.
Yeah,
but they talked about what happened after he left the room, didn't he?
Well, he could add some of that later.
Yeah, he probably threw it in there, well, fuck it, I don't know. He's gone. He doesn't need to explain when he wrote a letter. He probably doesn't know how to write anyway.
We're not discussing a stupid letter for longer than 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
I'd be surprised if he could read.
There's a lot of people that can't read on the Toonami block right now.
There really are. Wait, can Goku read?
It's a great history of people who can't read on Toonami.
I feel like Mr. Roshi probably taught him how to read.
Going back to Symbionic Titan and that guy in the fake soap. I don't know how to read! Every time somebody on Toonami is like, I can't read, that's always what I think of.
I mean, you have to get that dyslexic demographic.
Yeah, that's
as powerful as the DTL.
Well, no, I mean, the dyslexic demographic is different. This is the illiterate demographic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Though I'm surprised they can read the schedule well enough to figure out
why do you think they won't allow subtitles?
Oh shit.
So Hunter x Hunter recap. When's ping pong?
Never.
It's never happening, bro. I'm sorry to say.
I know. I'll keep shilling for it. Someone's got to do it.
That should just be your tag.
It's like just like what's his name with the Inuyasha. Like if we mention Inuyasha in the post that you post this in, he will post.
And he hardly ever posts anymore, Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Like he literally was just like, well, they showed final act, so fuck it.
I'm done. I've achieved my goals.
But then again, Levine came back, so maybe there's a Christmas miracle for Mike Myers to make a big comeback.
Naruto Shippuden, episode 120, Kakashi Chronicles: A Boy's Life on the Battlefield, Part 2.
Why wasn't Kakashi the main character of the series?
Because he's too cool.
Yeah, seriously, because he's too good for this series. I swear to God,
because children can't empathize with someone who is cool,
or someone who's competent,
or someone who has logical character traits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why don't another thing? we learned that you can transfer Sharingans to other human beings. Why
Yeah.
isn't that a bigger thing in the series?
I'm pretty sure that's the only thing in the series going
Yeah,
forward.
going forward, that's a huge
Is that
thing.
a huge thing?
Yeah.
Or, so it's like
you
kind
have
of like,
no.
To
You have
a hilarious
no,
degree.
I've never watched all of Naruto, and this is my first time experiencing it. I'm assuming
There's
this
a
is when.
we jokingly call this Sasuke Sharingan
Oh no!
Chronicles.
I know where this turns into. That
No,
everybody
no,
is just the eye just becomes the most broken thing on the
Yeah.
face of the earth.
No, it's not only that, but everyone wants one, and they just put them everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Can I tell him about the one? I won't mention his name, but I just want to tell him where they put the eyes.
I don't give a crap. Naruto spoilers are
Okay,
what are you
okay,
going to
okay.
spoil? That it's a terrible show? And
There's this one guy, and he's got an arm, and it's just covered in eyeballs. I swear to God.
Naruto is like one of the most like frustrating shows I've ever watched because like you have the battle, like remember that puppet dude? That battle was really cool. And this
For like one
Kakashi
episode when the
was
animation
really
was
cool.
good.
Yeah.
And then you have like one episode out of like 300
Yes.
that are good.
Yep.
And people who defend that show will be like, "Oh, did you see this episode? Yes. Did you
What
see?
about the other
Did you see the filler
299?
arc? Did you see that guy dressed in a condom suit? Like,
No, I mean the thing about like going back to Kakashi, the thing about him is like if he only has one eyeball, because if he had two Sharingans, he'd literally be the most broken character in the entire series, and they would need no one else to do anything. Like I swear to and he knows, and Grex knows what I'm talking about, because there's one point in the series where that is proven to be a fact.
so why isn't Kakashi the main character in this?
Because he's too good.
And honestly,
Because
like,
fucking
like
Naruto
that episode
is.
would have been terrible if it wasn't for Kakashi existing. Like Obito and that girl, like were
They're
so
shit.
useless. They were so useless.
Yeah.
Obito literally gave away his position by doing the face smack thing.
Yes.
He was like,
It's like, you're a fucking ninja,
it was
you
Kishimoto,
dumbass.
right? It was Kishimoto, right? It was.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
he was trying to be like, all right, we need to make like, all right, so Kakashi Sasuke, we need to have a useless female that gets captured, and we need
wait
our
till you hear what happens
Naruto.
to her.
What's
Wait till you
her
find out-
name? Make it 3 fucking letters, I don't care. Rin?
Wasn't it
Fuck
Ren
it.
or Rain? No, Ren's
Ren.
G Gundam.
Ren, yeah. Wait until you find out what happens to her. I'm like,
I'm assuming it's terrible. Nothing in that series. Do you remember chakra
It's
chakra
the-
like affinities? Do you remember
I
when that
swear
was
to-
a thing? That was
I swear to God, it really is the worst thing in the world that happens to her. It's amazing.
well, at least it's not Bleach.
It's actually that bad.
We forgot to mention that Bleach is a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bleach is ending, and they had Aizen's back. And
Well,
he
we actually already talked about it last
Oh, you're right, we did. Yeah, but he did the thing that everyone thought he would do, and it was
Aizen did-
awesome.
No,
But
he
did
didn't
show
quite.
up and go, "I'm Aizen," smirk.
Yes.
He did that, and then he trolled, and it was awesome, but not
So
to the
is-
degree he
Is the
needed
ending
to.
still just when is what's the main character of Bleach?
It's 5 chapters.
What's the stupid main character of Bleach called? I can't remember his name.
Ichigo.
Orange hair.
Yeah. Is it still just when's Ichigo show up so he can win? Is it still that?
No,
Kind
he actually,
of. But this
he got
arc
showed-
was like, Ichigo showed up and fuck you, the main
got
villain
wrecked.
is.
no. This time it was Ichigo
This time it
showed
was,
up, but he lost
When will
until
Aizen show up?
up.
When will Aizen show up and save the day?
Because he really saved the series for me. I
Literally,
swear to
when will
God.
Aizen get out of his
Get
chair?
off
I feel like the
Sure.
only good thing about Bleach is Aizen.
It is. He is the only good thing.
He'll be the only remembered thing about the show.
Because he's the best.
Like,
He's
the
not-
second it's not running anymore, everyone will completely forget its existence except Aizen.
Except for Keikaku intensifies.
I bet you everyone will forget or remember that stupid bear. I can't even remember its name.
Kumasi?
Teddy bear? I don't fucking know. Show's terrible. Why the hell would I
Khan.
put brain?
It's Khan. His name is Khan.
I refuse to put
Oh,
brain
the
memory
fucking-
into that show.
The stuffed animal.
Yeah, the one that's inhabited by like the ghost of like I don't know, and he sometimes goes into Ichigo's body. Why would they pick the biggest like fuckboy ghost to go into Ichigo's body? That
Because
doesn't
why
make
not?
sense. Oh,
Oh, I forgot. Is he actually? What the hell happened to him?
he's probably a villain now. He's
He
probably the
got
last villain.
super buff and then something.
Did that actually happen, or are you just bullshitting me?
Yeah.
He's the
Let's
final
just
villain.
go with that. Let's just go with that.
Also, I'm assuming. Should I say? I've never watched Naruto at all,
Uh-huh.
and you guys can just chuckle at this, but I'm assuming that Obito is Toby. Is that like
Unless
the
that-
worst spoiler to ever exist on Earth? Like, did he even
No.
try there?
No, there's a worse one.
Oh God, I kind of wanted to see it for the train wreck, to be honest.
Who do you think Naruto's dad is?
That one guy that we just saw in the flashback, that was the Hokage, that literally has the same exact hair color. Why hasn't anybody put that together? Why? Why?
No, that is the worst kept secret.
I mean, they did it like even in the manga when there was no color. They showed his picture and everyone was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
that's his dad.
Oh God, Naruto's like the worst parts of like Dragon Ball Z, but without having a Goku to be like, oh, like at least this is a funny like character that's like quirky and competent. Like,
Or at least there's no Vegeta either.
I mean, there totally is a Vegeta, and his name is the Sauce.
No, Vegeta's way better. Oh,
Sasuke wishes he was as brooding and edgy as Vegeta.
seriously,
What's the
Vegeta's
deal
so
with-
much better.
What's the deal with every woman wanting Sasuke, by the way? Like, they don't frame it as, like, is that, like, the most, like, do people, like, really think that, like, in Japan, like, that's really attractive? Like, Sasuke is, like, the most attractive, like, anime
Yeah.
character on Earth? It kind of makes sense for Dio. Dio's, like, really attractive looking.
Well,
when
I mean,
think
have
about
you
it.
seen Twilight? Have you seen like the reaction to that shit?
Yeah,
That's why.
But, like, those
Everyone
guys are really attractive people. I don't look at Sasuke and go, man, like I'm pretty good at,
He's
like,
a drawing.
I mean, Dio's a drawing. I don't know. I hate that show.
Whose background discussions are happening?
Bet you it's B-dubs.
Is it?
Yeah.
He?
At least it wasn't the phone ringing.
Oh
Or
yeah.
pausing.
Sorry, neighbor.
Okay. Okay. One Piece episode 354. I swear to go, see him, Brook and the Cape of Promise. Hey, they re-aired an old episode or two.
That letterboxing?
Yeah.
It was great. That is
I
a
mean-
great recap episode, honestly. Like, that was, for as
This
much
was a
as we gave,
necessary recap episode, even more so than in Japanese, because this is literally the first time that stuff was shown uncut on American TV.
thanks, 4Kids.
Thanks for your iceberg shenanigan.
Why did they ever give a reason why they cut those episodes? And the giant episodes?
So the accepted reason is because they wanted to get to Brown Pikachu, aka Chopper.
Was that like their last Hail Mary to try to make
Yes,
that
it
working
was.
list?
Like they
Yep.
literally got the show because they saw Chopper and were like, "Give it to us," and
No,
then
I
they
thought-
realized, how many episodes does he show up in?
Wait, I thought they got the show because it got
Got Yu-Gi-Oh.
fumbled in with Yu Yu Hakusho. Not Yu Yu Hakusho.
I thought it was Ultimate
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Muscle.
What with one of them, it got like fumbled in because they wanted to, make it a big thing over here too, and
Clearly, that worked out.
I mean,
yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho dub is like perfect for Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, not Yu-Gi-Oh, excuse me, is perfect for Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine a dub that worked better than that one, just because of how terrible that dub is, in comparison to how terrible Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Hey, it works.
Like, Yu-Gi-Oh
mean,
is
if the-
perfectly
if
done
the-
in the
if-
best ways. Let's
If
be
the
honest.
goal was to create the concept of the abridged series, then you succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is anybody gonna sit here and defend like the first few arcs of Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
Like,
When you were a stupid middle schooler, it seemed cool enough,
Yeah.
and the American intro was pretty awesome.
yeah. They had a person with a Brooklyn accent, just like One
And
Piece.
then when you look back on it, it's like, wow, these guys are determining the fate of the world by playing a children's card game. Unironically.
That's some shit.
Unironically.
Yeah, but that children's card game was also secretly a thing that
Ancient Egyptian
emperors
death
did.
game.
Yeah.
Ancient Egyptian we can't say death, so it's Shadow Game.
That translation from Death to Shadow Realm is like the best translation, or the best censorship of all
It's
time.
the best thing ever.
I'm gonna send you to the Shadow Realm.
It's the same.
Because
The guns they got rid of
It actually
too.
sounds worse. Like, I'm gonna send you to the Shadow Realm. I'm like, oh, is that worse than death? That sounds worse than death.
Here's an energy buzzsaw on the wall that will send you to the Shadow Realm. It's like, okay.
What?
I
just
I
don't
dig it.
question it.
I dig it.
Because it's just like, oh, Shadow Realm's worse than death. Okay. Like, if you go into it with that mindset, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, God, that show. Why
That was
did the card game not come out when that manga
It
or
did.
show?
It did.
Was the manga with the
No, the
same
manga.
really
The
weird-
manga had to have come first because the manga was
Yeah.
originally about crazy Saw games.
Yeah.
And then
Yes, it was.
he hit the card game, and then suddenly that was everything.
And then they
Yeah,
dueled on
'cause they could sell
elephants and
cards.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
Right, because they could sell cards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do they
fucking
still
card
dub
games.
the new Yu-Gi-Oh series?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. I remember when I was playing TF2, somebody mic spammed an episode, and it was just the most ridiculous thing. The dialogue in it. They just mic spammed the dialogue, and it was the funniest thing.
I mean,
on earth.
obviously, the most ridiculous thing in Yu-Gi-Oh is the hair.
I
That
mean,
hair
it's
was
in the same.
spectacular.
It's in the same
There's-
universe as Gundam
there's-
Iron-Blooded Orphans.
No.
There's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
anime
Hair was
hair.
worse.
There's anime hair. There's anime
There's
hair.
Gundam. There's Gundam
And
hair.
then there's Yu-Gi-Oh hair.
No, there's anime hair, Gundam hair, and then Yu-Gi-Oh hair.
I mean, my hair gives me super strength.
No,
Oh, God.
that's Dragon Ball Z hair.
Yeah, I can do that voice really well. What are you gonna do?
Oh
about it?
no.
What are you gonna do about it? But One Piece, great
Yeah.
recap episode. Great, probably the best recap episode I can think of off the top of my head, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they needed it because God knows how long ago Laboon was.
It's like 300.
In the case of the United
Yeah.
States, it was literally never.
Why didn't they start off with episode 1 of One Piece? Was there ever a reason given? Was it
On
just
Toonami?
the HD? Yeah, on Toonami.
It was HD was part of it, but
Okay.
also it was so old.
I mean, I know the animation's really bad in the early One Piece, but there's
They
so
basically
much
said-
charm.
I mean, they basically said people don't want to see SD shit.
Naruto Shippuden, Naruto.
Well, that's
Yeah, pretty
technically
much.
HD, but
It used to be standard def.
and also Naruto is Naruto, so it's kind of grandfathered in against that.
Yeah.
But nope,
Why
that's
do
the
people
episode.
like Naruto? Why do
That's
people
the
like
episode of One Piece.
Yep.
That's literally it was literally a replay of an old episode.
It was
So-
also great how they didn't show the what's her name, Vivi, and the sheep guy. Can't remember his
yeah,
name.
they actually managed to cut them out pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now Toonami viewers will never know about them.
Until
So then, 500
that-
episodes later, when they show up for the final battle,
no, and even before that, man,
no, it'll be 700 episodes until the final battle.
it's gonna be One Piece is gonna go over 1,000 chapters and 1,000 episodes.
Hopefully, Oda doesn't die. Please, God, don't let Oda die.
That's why
I'm
they're making
dreading
him
the-
take a
I'm-
break every month.
No, I'm dreading the day that we wake up and it's like Ichiro Oda killed in freak car crash.
No! They can't let him in. They can't let him
Ichiro
anywhere
Oda
near
killed
a
in
car.
freak gas explosion.
No! They can't let him near a gas main.
Ichiro Oda struck by lightning.
What they
They
need to
can't
do
let
is
him
put
near
him
lightning
they need to put him
Put him
into
in
a giant bubble
in a bunker.
in a bunker that only has a manga drawing tablet on it.
Ichiro Oda
can't-
dies of
do not let him-
unsuspected brain
Do
aneurysm.
not let him play Idolmaster or Dragon Quest X.
No, apparently his drug is One Piece.
Yeah, he did date. Isn't his wife Nami essentially?
Yes.
I mean, basically his wife has enormous boobs, and that's why every single female character in the show just has progressively larger boobs.
I mean, he's a big fan of boobs. At least he's honest about it, you know?
He's drawing the dreams of men. He's
He
drawing
could
men's
be,
dreams.
he could be the artist who did Dragon's Crown and be like, oh, it's so deep. But he's just like, you know what? I like titties.
I think it's stupid and he should stop it, but at least I can understand that he just likes drawing boobs.
Well, I mean that, and he hasn't spent a whole lot of time with his wife, so gotta come out somewhere.
He only sleeps 4 hours a day. How do you live like that?
Da Vinci only slept 4 hours a day.
How do you produce like great works of art like that?
The answer is that you don't. You eventually die, and that's why they force you to start taking breaks.
Please don't
Also
say
cocaine.
Cocaine. Oda is the most massive cocaine addict. You can tell by his artwork.
Like literally, the current arc is literally everyone is on cocaine.
Sounds about right.
The current arc is more like LSD, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But it's good though.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
So good.
I mean, One Piece has been like god tier since like the Fire and Ice Island. I won't put that in god tier One Piece.
No,
that was like really, 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 really good One Piece.
Right. I mean, I feel like the only reason people didn't like Fishman Island, and I think this is a pretty good reason, is partly because everyone wanted to see what the crew had for. Oh, yeah, okay. Right. We can't talk about that. Yeah.
And that was the episode of One Piece.
Yeah. In which we talked about everything but the episode of One Piece.
Yes.
I mean,
let's talk about One Piece. So Yu-Gi-Oh, guys.
Laboon. Laboon was really sad.
Yes, it was.
There are some new Laboon stuff, and Little Laboon is basically a bobbing beach ball of smiles.
I would suggest everyone, all 4 people who listen to this series, including Uzonic, to go back and watch those episodes.
No, including Uzonic 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to. Should we repeat it 3 times?
Because he's the only one that watches. No, but there is more like.
I'll listen to like half
and
an
Laboon
episode.
stuff coming up. Like much later on, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would suggest going back and watching those episodes. Not only are they really, 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 really good, because the animation kind of it hits its stride in that area. Once they reach kind of the grand line, like the animation starts to get really darn good for a shonen, and it doesn't really stop until like some of the more very, very recent arcs for the anime.
Yeah.
But go back and watch it. It's really good. Honestly, go back and just watch One Piece. It's great. It's worth a watch all the time because it's the best shonen ever made.
That would be Diamond is Unbreakable.
Nah.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious here.
Let's see how One Piece ends first, because if it sticks the landing, then it's One Piece.
Guys, One Piece is friendship.
It is. It's love.
Imagine how pissed off people would be if you did that. Just imagine, like, how upset the entire... I bet you Japan would just, like... Japan would probably explode.
That entire island would chain would burn to the ground.
So do you want to know how humanity develops the technology to raise people from the dead? Ichiro Oda dies before finishing One Piece, and I guarantee you Japan will develop the technology to raise people from the dead.
Within 6 months.
Within a day.
I believe
they will also make anime real at the same time.
If only because they have to.
Because we had no other choice.
It was this or not live. Well, I mean, they know what. Well, I mean, everyone know. I mean, his editors know what the ending is, so they can at least, tell everyone, like, hey, this is sort of what he had planned,
They could always get. I mean, who could finish One Piece? Honestly, like, who could do that job? Like, is there anybody you can think of?
Jesus.
Imagine if they got Imagine if they got Kishimoto to do it.
Oh God, fuck me.
Kill me now.
No, honestly, the only way
we are proud to announce that Tite Kubo will be taking over the reins of One Piece.
Oh God, no.
The One Piece is Aizen.
Although the greatest ending would be if it was
I
done by the
imagine-
Fist of the North Star artist. And if he just had a permanent Kenshiro scowl.
I'm semi-serious here, but it would literally be, they would be like, alright, light the Hero Araki signal.
Oh God.
I mean, he'd probably be the best option right now. To be
Well, I
honest.
mean, what they could just give it to a team, It
or
doesn't
the
have
guy
to be
who
a
does
single person.
Shokugeki no Soma. He does boobs really well.
Well, he's a porn artist.
I know. I mean, Prison School was a porn artist too. That didn't show in the artwork at all. By the way, watch Prison School, everyone.
Don't watch Prison School if you don't want to show up on a watch list.
Watch Prison
and I
School
mean it.
if you're DTL. Actually, DTL would probably hate Prison School. He'd be like,
No,
this doesn't
DTL
abide by... He'd be like, bad writing.
no. Did you see the ad for what is it?
I love you,
B-Tomb or
DTL, by the way.
no? The what the hell is that thing where they fight with their boobs and their butts?
Oh my god, what is...
Fucking... It's time to stop.
Super
time to go.
Duper Somos?
I don't remember what it is, but they turned it into an anime, and I'm just like, well, this is a thing.
There is a moment where it's clearly time to stop, and we have long past it, so...
Hashtag bring Code Lyoko to Toonami?
Hashtag Code Geass for Toonami.
Yeah, more like that.
Remember Code Lyoko, how shitty that show was?
I thought it was good.
Oh, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. If you want to see incompetent main characters, go watch Code Lyoko.
Okay, I gotta admit, they are stupid, but at the same time, they also have...
Hey, I was in middle school.
Yeah, so was I, but they're led by the thirstiest man alive.
And also that series has the negative side effect of being on Maguzi, and anything that's on Maguzi is trash.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was an interesting enough idea, Like, I could see why they thought, oh yeah, no, let's do this, it sounds cool.
At least it's not Sword Art Online.
Yeah, that would have been, ugh.
Back of the box quote. At least it's not Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online. You can write that on pretty much anything, though.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure back of the box quote.
At least it's not
Sword Art Online.
Bleach Blood War, back of the box quote. Well, I think it's not Sword Art Online.
Well, actually, you might as well just go watch Sword Art Online. Tenshinryo GXP, back of the box quote. Please put this box down and burn it.
No, the back of the box quote would be, go watch Sword Art Online.
It's an infinitely better experience.
Honestly, do you know what? Honestly, I would rather watch GXP than Sword Art Online on Toonami just to see people suffer through GXP.
Yeah, okay.
You might be right.
Because there's a few people
Sword
that
Art Online would not be the same the second time.
No.
And like as much as we shit on Sword Art Online, like at least it has good music and at least it has decent animation.
Yeah.
Like I can experience
it's just the writing that's utterly incompetent. Everything about it being put together is fine.
I mean, it's Japanese Twilight for boys. Let's be real.
Yeah. Except worse.
I'm so hot, guys.
Alright, turn this off. Get your computer rest so it doesn't explode.
It's
and
fine.
Then go talk to those other nerds.
Okay,
Make sure
I will.
You can run Crysis on it.
I can't run Crysis on my laptop.
I wonder if I could run Crysis on my computer.
We've turned to Can I Run Crysis, so it's definitely time to stop.
Well, I know my computer doesn't run Arkham Knight
Welcome
very
back
well.
to 2007.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Sonic.
Bye,
See you
Sonic
later,
again.
Sonic.
Bye, Sonic for the third time.
Goodbye, Seda.
Bye, Sonic in his car 4 months from now.
Well, screw you, Seda. You were too busy for us, so we'll be too busy for you. Expect more gifts from Man God.
You're gonna get Man God banned.
We'll see you next week on the ToonamiGAF podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.